Good evening, guys. Tonight we're going to be making another election prediction video between current governor of Ohio, yes, that is correct, the Democrat in this scenario, John Kasich. He did also go against President Trump, who is going to be facing, who he also ran against in the 2016 Republican primaries. But the reason why I have him as a Democrat is because of speculation he might defect, which I find very unlikely that he might defect to the Democratic Party because of Trump being being the face of the Republican Party now. But I don't believe he will, of course, switch to a Democrat. But I do think that he could well and doubt challenge Donald Trump to in the 2020 primaries. He has a slim shot of winning. I don't believe he will win. But yeah, let's get on to the map. Of course, he is from a key state like Ohio. Currently in real life, he is a Republican, so that will help him. But this map will sort of also be different. But you will see some regular safe states for both parties be toss-ups. Because of John Kasich being traditionally a Republican, but now we'll be switching to the Democrats. So yeah, and I'll still leave one district too close. We'll leave also Illinois. We'll put that there. And I think New Mexico will be safe as well. So now we'll get with the safe states for President Trump. I'll leave one district in Nebraska too close, because again, John Kasich will appeal to his base. Though he will appeal to many people in the Republican Party that are anti-Trump. Because again, he will be that outsider. He will be that challenger that will be seeking to defeat President Trump. So this is the current map. Actually, we'll take off Texas because of again John Kasich's appeal to many moderates, conservative from both sides, independents all across the country. So yeah, and I'll start off by saying Ohio will, I could almost say it, but I will say Ohio will be solid. Will go for John Kasich because his approval rating, compared to President Trump's approval rating in his home state of Ohio, is about a difference of about 25 points, which of course is not good in favor of John Kasich. Of course, the people of Ohio do approve of him as Ohio governor, so that's why I believe the state will easily go to John Kasich. Though in Georgia and Texas, I don't believe those will flip. Arizona will actually be in a potential of flipping. Same thing with North Carolina, but I don't believe Missouri will have enough flip potential to win. And same thing with Iowa. I keep saying this in many of my videos because it's true. Mike Pence does help him here in these conservative, traditionally rural areas where there is a lot of white evangelicals, born-again Christians who traditionally vote Republican. So yeah, that's why. And I'll say right now, John Kasich will win Minnesota because of, again, his appeal to many moderates. And I believe he will win the minority vote because, again, minorities dislike President Trump, except a portion of the Latino vote. So President Trump will get a small portion there. So yeah, and I'll say also because of that, the African American vote will be in favor of John Kasich, which will give him Virginia and the victory in that state. So we have John Kasich at 231, President Trump at 185, and I'll say right now New Hampshire will also go solid because I believe, if I haven't said it before, I believe most of the Democrats will vote for John Kasich because how they're alienated by President Trump. So yeah, he will win New Hampshire, and even with him being a Democrat, I believe that one congressional district will stay red in Maine because President Trump, his appeal to those people up there is way too strong to be flipped by any regular candidate. I do believe John Kasich could win that congressional district, but for the benefit of the doubt, we'll give that to President Trump. And I'll say right now, I do believe Michigan will go blue because his appeal, again, Ohio being its neighboring state, I believe he will do good in traditionally rural areas, which some could even go to him. I do believe he will do well in urban areas like Milwaukee, Detroit, Milwaukee, sorry, wrong state, but places like the Detroit suburbs. So yeah, so he will have that advantage in many of these states. And also, I could easily say that North Carolina could go blue, which would be monumentous, but the state will be very, very close. It could go within 1 point. I believe it will go within 1 point for either candidate. But for the benefit of the doubt, the white evangelical vote in here, which will help President Trump, the minority vote, which will help John Kasich, etc. Both sides have their advantages, their pros and cons. But this state, I believe, votes more by the party, so we'll give that state to President Trump. So he does crack the 200 barrier. And now we have states that went for different parties in 2016. So, and I'll say I think Nevada will go blue because John Kasich will do well in these rural areas. Up here in the in Nevada, more closer to Utah and Idaho. And he will do well in these four urban counties, Washoe County, Carson City, Reno County, etc. Those counties, I believe, will go for John Kasich overwhelmingly. He will, maybe not overwhelmingly, but I believe he will win them by a good margin. I believe that he will win that state. Though I believe in Nebraska, that one congressional district will be close, but will not close enough for John Kasich to flip. I believe it will be won by President Trump by around 3 points. But I do believe John Kasich could win that state, but I don't believe it will happen this year. So now we have states, only the state of Colorado, which went to Hillary Clinton in 2016, which I believe will go to the Democrats once again, and John Kasich this election. Because again, him being a traditional Republican, Trump won't be able to use that the term of this Democrat being a liberal. John Kasich, of course, as in real life, being a registered Republican, the governor of Ohio as a Republican, will do well in, I keep saying this because this will be a huge problem for President Trump. He will win in traditionally rural conservative areas like El Paso in Colorado, like in more less populated areas, and I believe the minority vote and the urban areas will go for John Kasich, which will be a huge problem for President Trump, because without President Trump doing well in these conservative areas, in these rural areas, running up the score, he can't get the sufficient amount of votes that he got in 2016 that overcame these urban areas. He won't have that voter suppression that he won because of John Kasich being more conservative, more maybe like a Joe Manchin, a Heidi Heitkamp, a Joe Tester, but more conservative. So that's going to be a big issue for him. And now in Arizona, I do believe John Kasich, again, the minority vote, do well in urban areas. I could easily see this going blue. Again, many of these states could go blue. And before I make a projection, I do see many of these states being flippable very easily because of many scenarios, many circumstances. But for the benefit of the doubt, we'll give Arizona to President Trump. He needs to win one of these toss-up states. Will be nice to him. Now we have 3 states in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, and in Florida that President Trump did win in 2016. Pennsylvania, of course, being very close. It has a huge black population. Wisconsin having a huge minority population, urban areas in Milwaukee. And Florida being a huge Latino state, minority, having a huge minority vote. And many rural areas, along with urban areas, which could be a problem for President Trump. And I'll say right now, I do believe, thinking about it, I do believe Wisconsin could also, again, I could say, could go. Sorry about that. Could go for John Kasich. And I easily, and I say easily, could give this to John Kasich. We'll leave that for now. I am contemplating because of him. So we do have these 3 states. I'm sorry about that, but we have 3 states that Trump carried in 2016. And I'll say right now, John Kasich will win Wisconsin. He's at 276, excuse me. He does win the presidency as a Democrat. He could just well in doubt be running with a Republican, maybe someone like Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, etc. So yeah, but I say this because, again, in many of these states that I said, they could go either way. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, even Ohio. I doubt that, but we could stretch it even to Ohio, that it could go to Donald Trump. But I believe John Kasich, as running as a Democrat, not trying to be offensive, but some voters vote very partisanly and just vote by party and not by person. We'll see John Kasich be a Democrat. And they will vote for him because him being a Democrat, despite being traditionally a traditional conservative Republican, maybe more moderate than conservative. But I do believe that he does have he will carry many of these rural areas along with urban areas, which I say many partisan voters are in. Not partisan voters, but in both urban and conservative areas there are many partisan voters, which will help both candidates in certain states and certain areas. And in Wisconsin, I believe John Kasich again will carry a lot of, maybe won't win, but will keep the margins very close, maybe even to 55-45 in these conservative areas. John Kasich will win these urban areas, maybe not by as big as a margin as he'd like to, but as a big of a margin that he needs to. And I'll say the same thing in Pennsylvania. I feel he will bring out the vote to his base out to vote, along with urban areas, especially in the Philadelphia suburbs and Allegheny County, Pittsburgh, and Century County and Erie County, because again, these are urban. These are besides Allegheny County, and Philadelphia, Century County and Erie County are both traditionally toss-up, too close to call counties. As we know, Erie County did go for President Trump in 2016, and Century County went for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So you can see both of these counties going different ways. But I believe his turnout in the Philadelphia suburbs, with the African American population, him keeping the margins low in center Pennsylvania, with these many conservative areas, more traditional Republican areas with more white evangelicals, will favor John Kasich. Maybe not the white evangelicals, but they will favor John Kasich. He will win Pennsylvania, and I'll say he also will win Florida. And I'll just say he could easily, President Trump could easily win Florida. He could easily win Pennsylvania. He could easily win Wisconsin. But in this scenario, I believe, with John Kasich, I don't believe that will happen, because Florida, having the Panhandle, I believe it will be actually pretty close, and I will see John Kasich winning more counties in more traditionally conservative Republican ruby red areas, because again, I stress this, John Kasich is a Republican running as a Democrat, which will attract Republican voters that support him, that are anti-Trump. He won't win the minority vote again, because as a Democrat, anti-Trump, etc. All these things will be against Donald Trump. He will win that state because, again, the Latino vote, the African American vote, almost you could say outnumber. I don't believe they do. I need to check the exact population, but they make a good chunk, if not a majority, of Florida's votes. I don't believe it's a majority, but it could easily be. And these voters will almost definitely go for John Kasich, plus conservative areas going for John Kasich. He will win the state, along with many states. And now, thank you for watching my video. I hope you do. Please subscribe. Please, I hope you did enjoy this video. You please like, comment, subscribe. And yes, John Kasich, I could say, could win with a blowout like this. Nowadays, what is considered a landslide, but I do see, again, many of the states, as I say, flipping. Even Trump winning, he could easily win Florida. He could easily win Pennsylvania. He could easily win Wisconsin. He could even easily win Colorado. But in this scenario, with all the things going against him, I don't believe it will happen. You could give me some suggestions of flips you could give me in these states, or you could give me the traditional wrong, which I appreciate, honestly. Actually, like you guys, I don't care if you guys skip to the end, as long as you guys at least noticed my video. Honestly, I'm just grateful for you guys watching my video. Honestly, if you like it, if you dislike it, I don't care. I love you guys all. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next video. See you.